Good whatever time of the day it is you happen to be listening. This is the P&A Podcast Express coming to you live
from the Hamptons in
Battle Creek.
We are here for the State Bowling Tournament edition of the P&A Podcast Express. What do we want to call this one? It's kind of going to be a quick trip, but maybe not a quick trip. We might amble for an hour. We might ramble for 20 minutes. You never know.
It's a trip.
It's definitely a trip.
That's what it is. And
speaking of trip, and I could use a beer right now.
Yeah, working on it.
Oh, boy, that's Cousin Mike being a bartender for us here. We're joined by Stefan over there. He's about to be a friend of the show. I don't think you've ever listened. Have you listened to any of our podcasts yet?
I regret to say I have not.
It's okay. We appreciate honesty.
I'm going to say no because I asked earlier, or he asked me earlier, what's a podcast?
I'm not very good when it comes to the technological things.
Not only is he learning what a podcast is, but he is partaking in one, which is especially exciting.
Normally you listen to a podcast before you're on a podcast. I'm going to say that. That's the usual progression of things.
Like, I'll put it this way. If I could find my mom, she would be proud of me.
So this is a unicorn situation, because I don't think we've ever had anyone on a podcast, our podcast, that has never listened to a podcast before.
That's probably true.
Yeah. So, really, it's a first here on the P&A Podcast Express. If you have an opinion about this, you can email us at pineapple-nipple-arsehole, that's A-R-S-E, hole, at gmail.com, or P&A Podcast Express, that's painful nut allergy podcast express at gmail.com.
Phil, you got through that without any mishap.
No fuck-ups. Melanie would be proud.
Great job.
Great job. I don't know. By the way, it's our friend Nellie who listens to us from Antarctica. It's her birthday today, so just happy birthday to you. Thank you for making us the #1 podcast in Antarctica.
Yes, and we've received emails from other people in Antarctica listening.
That listen at McMurdo. Yeah, it's amazing.
She is sharing the podcast. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. So if you're out there and you're hearing us, tell people that you like us and share. Or if you don't like us, tell your enemies, to fuck off and listen to us.
Yeah, we appreciate that too. Anything for a listen. That's kind of where we're at.
So what's grinding your gears today? Anything?
Myself?
Yeah, you got a gear grind. You bowled at state tournament today. How did you enjoy that?
Well, I did well.
Eddie Fury
and I kicked some butt. I feel like
you guys did
great.
We
did well for that.
You did very well.
And then I tanked in the individual portion, but,
So there's a few things at play here tonight. We did the radio show for the Saturday Night School of Rock, which was awesome. Eddie Fury was the producer and also the engineer of that one and directed everything. Good job by Eddie. Eddie's tired, I can tell. Eddie's about to be a grandfather, as well as Eddie's daughter's out on a date tonight.
Yeah.
So his youngest
he is not
daughter.
happy about that at all.
Yeah, he's watching Muhammad Ali right now fight on ESPN. That's what's going on in real action here in our suite at the Hampton Inn in Battle Creek, Michigan. Not coming to you from the Silver Tavern like normal, but a shout-out to the Silver Tavern for normally hosting us.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm kind of missing the burger right now.
I could tell. You were saying you were hungry earlier.
Angry.
We haven't really done a goddamn thing about it. So
No, we've slacked, and I'm still hungry.
It doesn't go away.
Not usually.
Unless you eat something.
Then that helps.
Yeah.
I'm still usually hungry after I eat something, I'll be honest.
That's amazing. That
has put me in the condition I'm in.
So you eat. Now we went to B-Dubs today, and we had like 6 trays of food in front of us, and the bartender, because we sat at the bar, looked at us like we were insane. And then when it came time to pay the piper and leave, she brought us just this tiny little box because that's all we needed. And she was like, "I don't care who you are. That was impressive."
Yeah. I could tell that she was both disgusted and
amused. Yeah,
and amused.
But if I can interrupt, I mean, on the same page, if you show up to a place like that with another man being a buddy, an asexual friend that is not sexual, period, they always say, "Is it? Are you guys together?" And I have to say, "Well, yes,
of course."
And you can keep it and for whatever it's worth, but as life partners, no. But as friendship life partners. Yes,
Right.
We're for
we
sure.
are together. And, it's empowering to say that, so I agree. And it didn't help that Eddie was stroking my leg gently while we were sitting at the bar, but it's okay.
It also didn't help that I was in between them.
Well, and Mike.
You were taking skiing lessons.
And me and Mike, Mike Nico, double fives, I mean, we both ate bone-in wings. So if that's saying anything, but we're separate.
Yeah.
So,
Phil and I did too.
See, I have a problem
Phil
with
and I
boneless wings.
We went in on a platter of wings together.
We got 20.
Yeah.
Did you dip in the same sauce?
No.
No, we don't. We don't cross the streams.
So just one dip, or you don't double dip, or nothing.
Well,
at all?
I had blue cheese. He had ranch because he's kind of a bitch.
Yeah, that's a prime indicator that I'm a bitch. The fact that I like ranch on my wings instead of blue cheese. So I like that we can suss that out that quickly.
Well, they offered me baby carrots, and I said, "Can you please give me the full size ones? Because I'm happier that way."
The baby ones just make me feel insulted.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that line of reasoning.
It's too much of a reminder.
Oh man, I've been living with this condition my entire life.
I've been 33 years of baby.
I've been called baby carrot before.
It's kind of like when you go to those random campy places that always like old timey places like Crossroad Village or anything. They always have that general store that sells those big ass frickin' pickles, and you're like, holy shit, I can't compete with that.
The Moby Dills.
The Moby Dills. Well played, sir.
You
well
never
played.
forget about the Moby Dills.
The Moby Dills. You know what? That's going to be the theme. There you go. The theme of this show. We'll call this the Moby Dills episode.
And it's weird because Dad always said you'd never remember that kind of pickle, and I said, I'm telling you, I do.
Dude, if you encounter that kind of pickle, you're going to remember it.
I was 16. Yeah, I remember.
You remember the first time. You remember what song was playing. You remember everything. The smells, the taste. You remember all of it. I mean, you even remember the temperature of the room. It just happens to happen that way. When something that life-changing and altering happens, you remember all of those little details.
Yeah, I don't know that I've been there.
Oh, really? Well, I guess you've never encountered the Moby Dill in the wild, then.
I have not. I'm a Moby Dill.
I just remembered the
Moby
name,
Dill
and it was
free.
Dad, and that's the way it was forever.
Yeah. So we were talking of gears grinding.
Gears grinding. Well, maybe they should have ground up those Moby Dills a little bit better.
Maybe.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, little bologna salad or something.
Yeah, some relish. My friend Jer of Jer Sucks fame says that pickles are just cucumbers soaked in concentrated evil. So I don't know why he dislikes pickles. I've never understood it. Maybe he had a bad Moby Dill experience.
Maybe he's just that
I might ask him
intimidated by
about
it.
that. Maybe it's just even the little sweet pickles make him feel intimidated, perhaps.
Maybe he's more of a bread and butter pickle guy.
I don't know. There's that old joke about getting fired for sticking your dick in the pickle slicer. Have you heard that joke? Have you ever heard that joke? So a guy works guy works at the pickle factory, and he comes home and he tells his wife, he's like, "Man, I just have this urge and I can't fight it. I want to stick my dick in the pickle slicer." And his wife's like, "No, don't do that. Like, we'll get you help, seek counseling. I'm sorry you feel this way." A week later, he comes home again and says, "I can't fight it. I just want to stick my dick in the pickle slicer." "All right," she says, "we'll figure this out. I'm sorry. We'll get through this together." 3 days later, he comes home and says, "Well, I got fired." And the wife's like, "Well, why?" And he says, "I stuck my dick in the pickle slicer." And she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, but she got fired too."
Oh boy.
That's probably how I was conceived, probably.
You were the son of a pickle slicer, huh?
I could have been, or nobody knows with my height and my ugly abilities, probably.
You were conceived out of dill pickle juice.
I feel bad. Actually, my dad, when I was a kid, we'd be playing baseball, and I'd miss the ball, and my dad would say, "Hey, Stain, go get it."
Oh, cum stain?
Yeah, and then I go grab the ball, and he'd say, Come.
Cum stain.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, "Dad, that's kind of weird. You don't call the other ones that." And he goes, "Yeah, I call them by their dad's names."
Oh, jeez.
So, I mean, that's
harsh
kind of the
and
way
brutal.
I grew up.
Well, I derailed. Sorry. Sorry, derailed.
You need to refocus here, son.
Yeah, I do. I derailed completely.
See, this is beautiful because opposite of what we do for the radio broadcast, we don't really have to. I know that we like to keep things professional, but really not on this show. It's the opposite of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's the real us.
Yeah, and it's unfiltered and it's terrible. So anyway, I've gotten a lot of feedback about my favorite 22 genres of porn. So people want to see the list, and I haven't published it yet, but I think that's about to be a real thing.
Well,
how do you feel about it?
How do you truncate it to just 22?
Well, I'm getting to be of the age where I know specifically what I like and what I want. So it went from 75 down to 22 pretty easily.
What dictates a genre, if I can ask?
Well, a certain way of things happen. Oh, look at this guy, Louis in the house. A genre is a very specific sect of porn that if you type in a search bar for it, there's multiple different scenes, editions, and filmings that come up for it. Like guy on girl, girl on girl, foot fetish porn, a lot of foot jobs, things like that. Anything you can think of, DVDA, a double penetration, Eiffel Towers, pig on a spit, rusty trombone, things like that.
Goats and flaming doorknobs.
Yep, same thing. Yep,
so
that's
if you watch
great.
all these, to decide which one, or how to depict them into
it's like anything else in life. You have to do research and figure out. I mean, how do you know what you like unless you know what you don't like? It's the yin and the yang of life.
Have you ever eaten dog shit?
I can honestly say no.
So could you, just a question,
can I say that I don't like dog shit? No, I'm not saying that. All I've said is I have not eaten dog shit.
Agreed.
Do I know if I like it or not? No, I cannot honestly say that. Do I think I would enjoy it? Probably not. But I'd like to go into it with an open mind if I ever decided to try it.
Boy, I'm not eating with you guys anymore.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing to me over here, dude?
We had a great meal at B-Dubs, and now here we are. We shared a great meal.
I'm open-minded. I'm very aroused right now.
Have you ever tried dog shit?
As far as I know, I haven't. But
so growing up on a dairy farm, obviously I've had cow shit kicked in my face.
I've had lots of poop in my mouth.
I probably actually tried it at some point. Not on purpose. It was not my choice.
So you haven't rimmed a cow?
No, I've never licked a cow's asshole. No.
Well, that makes one of us.
Okay.
Not me.
Oh, jeez.
So my brothers are quite a bit older than me. There was a neighbor girl that was kind of in between our age. And we had rabbits, and they were out cleaning the pens one time, and they told her they spilled Trix, the cereal on the floor.
Oh no!
And got her to
eat the smart pills.
Yes,
oh.
Yes. And
evil piggies. Yeah, sure. Let's give it a whirl. It can only make the production better, Louis. I appreciate it. He's handed me a bottle of Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 brand Tennessee Sour Mash Whiskey. If he would like to sponsor our show. Yes. Feel free, because I'm about to indulge in some of the fruits of your labor there from Lynchburg, Tennessee, which I have been there before.
I'm going to make the face for you.
And if you would like to sponsor Phil.
I'm looking for a sponsor now that you mention it. Something about off the wagon and hitching a ride or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's all
relative.
Yeah.
Like Mitch Hedberg said. He said it about drugs, but I used to drink. I still do, but I used to, too.
He's a great comedian.
Yes. I had another Hedbergism the other night I was talking about, but he's got some great ones, the tennis one. It's tennis is disappointing because no matter how good you are, you'll never be as good as a wall.
Yes. Stephen Wright was another great
very thinker. Just sometimes, you got to think about these things.
One of his jokes that always rang true with me was, my apartment was robbed, and they replaced everything with an exact replica. So I said to my roommate, "Did you know we were robbed?" He said, "Do I know you?"
That's well done. Well done right there.
Touche.
Oh, jeez. Uh-oh. Jack Daniels burp. Hey, sponsor us, Jack Daniels. And you can be hearing more segments like that from our podcast.
Yeah. It's a good thing we don't edit anything because this probably whatever time we're at here would end up on a cutting room floor.
We're at 17 minutes, roughly.
Yeah, I can't read it right now.
Well, reading's not your strong suit. Just stick to your lane.
Yeah.
If it was Braille, could you read it?
Yeah.
I would.
You could hear it.
He would decipher it from Braille.
Yeah, but they have that Braille, that plays through headphones now. That's just fantastic.
What we do every week on the podcast.
So I found myself one time I had to publish some stuff in Braille for a job that I did. I just kept drawing dicks in Braille. It was just bumps of dicks. And I'm like, these blind people are going to be severely, discombobulated by this. They're like, oh, shit, it's another penis.
It's life size.
That's right. Oh. It's kind of like, I always wondered about, if you were, when I was younger, I wondered about, like Playboy and nudie magazines. And I'm like, do they publish a Braille edition? Like, what would boobs feel like in Braille?
I actually have a funny story about Braille.
Go ahead. Ooh, look at this. My dad getting to the day. All you need to know about Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey Old No. 7 is my dad just took a big old rip of it. Woo! Anyway, your Braille story, Stefan.
It's real bad. Actually, it's actually pounded on myself, and I feel bad for it.
Okay.
Because it was a stupid time for me. I was at service, went to the library because I'm very into reading. I like to read books. No big deal.
They still make those?
Online books that are in paper.
So you've never listened to a podcast, but you've gone online to get books.
I was kidding. I said online books that are in paper.
Oh.
No, I go to a library. I take my kids there and everything. We go to the library and get books.
And that's fantastic. I enjoy libraries, but not to hijack your story. Go ahead.
I don't get them books. I just look at the pictures and we walk out, so it's no big deal.
You seem like the picture book type.
Yeah, the reading thing's real hard when you're drunk.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I went into and I bought, I rented or whatever you want to call it.
I believe it's loan.
Checked out.
Loan. Checked out. That's the word. Yeah, that's the phrase.
A book, and it was what I wanted, and I didn't realize that it was a book in Braille.
Oh, good Lord.
So I got back to my barracks room, sober, and I sat there, and I was like, cool, I'm going to start reading this book, and I opened it up, and it was a Braille book.
Really?
Yeah, and I walked back, because it wasn't very far, it was only a couple 100 yards from where we lived, and I went to check it back in, and the lady goes, what's wrong, was it too hard to read? And I looked right at her, and I said, it's in Braille, and she goes, can you not read Braille? And I said, no, as a matter of fact, I cannot. And she looked at me like I was stupid. I felt bad because I was like, I wasn't smart enough to read Braille.
Did you ask her if she could read it for you?
I should have.
Yeah, be like, can you read Braille, bitch?
But I looked at her like, oh, I'm not smart enough to read Braille, my fault. Sorry, I can see.
See, it's kind of like Morse code. Like, who the fuck uses Morse code, and who the fuck can actually read it?
That's a true story. She looked at me like, oh, you can't read it? And no, as a matter of fact, I can't. Can that blind kid over there read my book?
Yeah, and they're like, well, he's not supposed to be here right now.
I mean, and they're like, the other book you wanted to check out is a pop-up book about
and
unicorns,
then I felt
so you probably can read
and
that.
This is actually the Tao of the U.S. military. They probably have blind kids sitting there in the library to read Braille books to all you enlisted gentlemen.
And I'm not banned down to service because I was there too, but I mean, they didn't teach me to read Braille.
Well, I mean, that's not what they cover in basic training, is it?
No, I learned how to wipe my ass and don't look at other peckers in the shower.
That's a
what
skill
I
you're going to use the
and
rest
also,
of your life.
Always have a clean pair of socks.
Yeah, well, if it's real heavily starched, you leave it.
Right.
And you get a different one. But yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Huh. What was their stance on masturbation?
As long as somebody else is doing it in front or around you, it's fine.
Okay.
I have a feeling he was
you had to join in. So you had to buddy up for masturbating then?
Well, no, it was like they never had full words. It was dots in between. So as long as somebody's doing it around in there, it's fine. Just leave them alone.
Oh, so don't interrupt Don't interrupt somebody.
Exactly. It just had dots and it never.
What about for yourself? What if you were caught by somebody? Is it more don't ask, don't tell kind of policy?
I mean, when you get caught, I mean, you open the door and somebody's in there doing something dirty. You call. I mean, we had jokes where it was a Jewish jackhammer or the Hebrew hammer. I mean, they're going to town with big beer muffs on you. Let them go.
I had a buddy who was over in the shit in Afghanistan. He's like, you'll never know rock bottom until you're in a porta potty when it's 130 degrees rubbing one out. in the middle of the desert?
Never done that. I can be completely honest. But I've taken a shit in a porta potty when it was 130 degrees. And I'll tell you what, you've smelled real bad stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't make an ass gasket on the top of that toilet seat thick enough to get the other guy's sweat off of the toilet seat. I can put it that way.
Wow.
Oh, it's something
Well, hey,
different.
thank you for your service, by the way.
Oh, no, it is what it is. My choice, not yours. We love it.
Where do we go from here, Filkins?
He's
Adam Filkins, by the way. I'm Phil Nicola. I don't think I said that. I normally do.
I'm drunk.
I think people know at this
It's
point.
Stefan, and he's drunk.
Yeah, I'm drunk. I'm having a good
It's
time.
okay. It's allowable on this show.
If you
you're
don't listen to these guys, you better listen to them.
We've actually had 7 other people that have been way more drunk on this show than you are right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So my mom.
So it's no big deal.
Can you guys put out a thing to try to find my mom?
Yeah, well, here's your time. We'll give you 30 seconds to talk about the last time you saw your mom and what you want.
All right, ready?
Did I ever mention this on the podcast before? When I was in college,
30 seconds. Go ahead.
Well, I got to tell this story.
He'll get his 30. We'll get back to you.
You'll get your 30 seconds. We got plenty of time.
Yeah. We've got nothing but time.
So when I was in college, I was at Meyer in Saginaw, and I was there was a kid that came up, and he actually asked. He goes, "Have you seen my mom?" And I don't know. He was probably 6, 7, too old to be worried about where his mom is.
Yeah, you should have just been in the Lego aisle.
I just told him, I'm like, yeah, she left and she's never coming back. And I mean, he just instantly started bawling, and I'm standing there, I'm 19, 20 years old, and I could care less. I'm just like, why in the world would you come up to me, kid? I don't look friendly or like I'm helpful, So I was a little miffed, and then he starts crying, and I would have felt bad if I had feelings, but
and you said, "Oh fuck, what do I do with this now?" Jesus.
No, I just continued to look at the CDs.
Yeah, tell me what sort of CDs were you looking at the time?
I don't
Because we had the rock show earlier tonight where we talk incessantly about music. What year would that have been?
That would have been like 95.
So there was probably some Nirvana in there, some Soundgarden, some Pearl Jam.
I know one
Stone
of them
Temple Pilots.
One of them I looked at was I was looking at some Alice in Chains because I just started looking, so I was in the A's.
Yeah, and this kid has the audacity to ask you where his mother is, and you're like, shit, I don't give a fuck, kid.
Yeah, and she's gone, and she's never coming back. And that was really the best guess I had. I mean, if he was my kid, I'd have left too.
Yeah, I mean, a little bastard couldn't tag along.
Yeah,
so.
you stupid little shit. You know,
it's your fault for getting lost, dude.
Yeah,
like I know where I'm at. You should know where you are, dude.
I'm in the CDs, and I'm not worried.
That's right. I'm looking to spend $12.99 today on Musical Bliss.
Yeah.
So, and your problems are not concerning to me, my friend.
Well, he was just a child.
I know. Petulance.
I hope she was hot.
Oh, I don't know.
We don't know that part of the story.
I wasn't lying to the kid.
I just said I hope. I mean, the dad probably didn't come back either, so.
No.
So you know what? I have a story to kind of piggyback that one. Kind of opposite end of the spectrum.
Never getting your 30 seconds.
No, he's going to get his 30 seconds. Don't worry about that. That's still. Don't worry. But anyway, so I was at a local establishment a few years ago, and this girl was there, and she was celebrating her 21st birthday, and I happened to be talking to her, and I'm like, she was attractive, so me being the single pervert that I am sometimes, I started hitting on her a little bit, and she's like, dude. Ooh, gross, you're old, like, get away from me. And I didn't even, say anything inappropriate. I'm just like, well, how you doing, blah, blah, happy birthday. And she's like, just back up. So I'm like, oh, and she's like, you're old and gross. And I'm like, okay, how old do you think I am, blah, blah, blah. And, 21-year-olds think that even if you're 38 years old, you're 52. It just sort of happens that way. So 2 days later, I happen to be in the store, and I see her, and she's with her mother, whom I happen to know her mother, and I happened to party with back in the day. So she walks up to me with her mother, and I say, hey, how you doing? Haven't seen you forever. I'm like, man, we used to party together a lot. What, like 22 years ago? That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? And she just looked at me and looked at her mom, and I'm like, we had some good nights, didn't we? And who's this? She's like, this is my daughter. She just turned 21. I'm like, oh, man, all right, 22 years ago was a lot of good times. And it really mind-fucked that chick. She's like, wait a minute. Holy shit.
Oh, man.
Because that's the type of guy I am.
I'm going to segue into something here poorly, but watching Frazier Ali go at it here, Tyson would have beat the hell out of these little
Just
bitches.
whoop the shit out of both.
I mean, I know Ali's great, Frazier's great, but geez, old Pete's Iron Mike would have just tore them up.
Even though he's 8 inches shorter.
He'd have went in black shoes, black trunks, and just beat the shit out of them.
Well, everybody has a plan till they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Anyway, your 30 seconds to plead for your mother to come home.
All right.
Go ahead. Starts now. You're not off to a good start, dude. There you go. He has to take a drink. All right. This is good radio. This is good podcast. Sorry.
Yeah,
we're not radio anymore.
Yeah, it's
Mama, come home.
it's crazy. I mean, we should probably get into a different subject.
All right, if you want to change this, I was just trying to give you your 30 seconds, man.
I mean, I love bringing in bad family subjects. You know, I love.
So
I
is
love
this
them.
legit? You don't know your mother?
Yeah, I only met her when I was born, and then when we had our first kid, and then after that, I don't remember much.
Okay. Was this by your doing chemically, or she just wasn't around?
Oh no, she split with my dad twice, and after see you later. You know, it's like a win-win because like now I get 2 Christmases, so that's pretty cool.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. 2 Christmases. Like the Christmas to celebrate your mother being gone and the Christmas to celebrate with your dad? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's like my mom and my new dad. That's one Christmas, and my real dad,
so
my new mom.
You do, in fact, are around your mom then?
No, I haven't. I don't even know where she's at.
But you still have Christmas with her? Do you like sit alone and
no? That
time
was
for her to come
all
home?
just a joke.
It's via Zoom, and she claims that she's in an undisclosed location.
And much like 2 assholes on a podcast, she says, "You've got 30 seconds, son. That's it."
And that's why you said try to find her, and I went like this.
Yeah. Drink. By the way,
for everybody at home, he did things.
By the way, episode 2 is a quality episode.
Yeah, if this is the first podcast you've listened to and you really need to know what we're all about, listen to episode 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't listen to me because.
Well, episode 2 is Phil's famous masturbation episode.
You masturbated on.
Not on air.
Oh, jeez.
No, that's for the live special.
That's for the
live special.
That's the 100th episode.
I thought it was the first one that did that.
That's our celibate celebration of our 100th episode. This is me jerking off while Adam gives play-by-play.
Watching or just thinking about what you're doing?
It's going to be published in Braille.
Convenient, because with 2 hands I might be able to read that.
I don't know. Maybe. I think it's a good idea. I've had a lot of bad ideas.
I'd listen to it if you could read it to me.
Give play-by-play. Yeah, why the hell not? This podcast is going nowhere fast. I might as well have another drink of Jack Daniel's Old Number 7 brand Tennessee Sour Mass Whiskey. Whiskey? Lynchburg, Tennessee, USA. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Tastes just like Mom used to make.
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
They actually put the E in whiskey. See, some of the other brands, they skip that E.
Well, it's cheaper to print it without that E.
yeah,
And just think about the Braille implications.
I know. Think about I mean, chances are if you have to buy Jack Daniel's Braille edition,
You shouldn't be driving.
yeah, you shouldn't have driven to the liquor store.
You know, honestly, by the time you're to the bottom of that bottle, you're going to be praying it has Braille on it.
That's right. Ugh.
God, reading the carpet, usually when I get that hammered, it's pretty hard. It's kind of like, man, does that smell like piss or sound like it when I'm reading it with my hand? It's really weird.
Well, you don't go to the taste option, do you?
How many beers did we have that day?
Anywhere between 14 and
Is it my-
72.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one because I mean,
Speaking of pleading the fifth, there's a fifth in your face, and you better take a rip of it.
I'm not a Jack fan. I'm telling you.
Nobody's ever a Jack
No,
fan.
I'm more of a Bean fan. No, he said no too.
Ugh.
No, he said no too.
You can really taste the barrel aging in that bottle right there.
The barrel's deep.
Yeah.
And when they blew that glass, they did a good job.
Yeah, somebody blew something. That's for sure.
It cures COVID.
It does. We don't talk about that on this show.
What's that?
Nothing.
It's a hoax.
Yep.
Whoa!
No, I didn't mean it
The
like
the
that.
opinions expressed here tonight by Stefan. No, that's just kidding.
What I meant by that is that the Jack Daniels doesn't taste bad because of the way it was blown in the bottle. That's all hoax.
Oh, that's the hoax. Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, speaking of hoaxes, the Loch Ness Monster is one that's always intrigued me. So I like making toast.
Like a toast? Or
No, toast, like bread in a toaster. It's just a unique experience. I mean, think about it. We baked it once, and now we decide we're going to put it in another heat source. It's weird. It's kind of like refried beans. Like, what if once is enough?
Why fry them twice?
Exactly. You're just duplicating effort.
I like it.
Now, however, twice-baked potatoes are the shit. I give them that extra process is worth it.
Well, but there's an extra step in there that everybody forgets, that they're generally mashed
Yeah.
and then baked again.
Of course you have
Yeah.
to mash them and bake them again. We always devolve into food, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, it's either porn or food, one of the two.
Or they go together. So,
Well, I do. That's another genre, by the way.
I mean, if you talk about eating a taco,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Are you eating a Taco Bell or are you indulging in something differently?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I
it's
see
your
what you're
call.
saying there.
Whatever. I mean, they can hand in hand.
We've talked about Taco Bell before, and the fact that if you are having your tacos made by somebody that's skinny,
Just
you need to
don't
leave.
do it. Just fuck it. Because
just
they're going to
need to
make them
leave.
the way they want them, and they're not going to add additional stuff.
Real
Yeah.
light,
You want
real
your
lean.
Taco Bell made by fat people, always.
Yeah.
If it's not a fat person making your Taco Bell, just skip the fuck out, because it's going to be a disappointment. Because
You know, I've
Taco
never-
Bell's
I've
like the
never thought
Wild
of that.
West of Taco Bell's the Wild West of how they make their food.
Oh, it's either one or the other.
It's
One-
either
yeah.
gratuitous or highly disappointing.
It's fat or skinny.
So
yeah.
if you're going through a drive-through, how do you know? Do you think about
That's-
if
that's-
does she sound fat
so that's
or
what
not?
we call in the business a leap of faith, right there.
We also have, you can sense it.
Yeah,
You know-
you can sense when you're pulling up to the drive-through. You're like,
If-
you know what? It's nothing but fat people.
It always
see-
it never
Great.
feels good when you're pulling out of the drive-through, though. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody ever likes pulling out.
No, you hate it.
Yeah.
Well, when the car in front of you is like handed a bag, and what the contents of that bag are testing the tensile strength of that bag.
Yeah, then you know
then
it's good.
you know. If it still looks like a bag that could be empty,
If it looks like a
you
bag
leave.
full of napkins and air, you're like,
Yep,
fuck.
you
no.
just
like
pull
it.
around.
Yeah,
You hit Burger King,
yeah. And then you
yeah.
wait for 3 hours if you're in our town.
and then you shit your brains out.
Yeah. Yeah, for some, you know.
Then you get the Bacon King, and it's got a condom wrapper in it. I got it. I've been there.
Yeah. Well, it's
It was
the way life goes.
it wasn't my fault, but
It was your condom wrapper, right?
it was my bathroom trip in there. Sorry.
Jeez, wow. What
So-
are you doing, Burger King?
I'll tell you, I get it my way.
They're your cheeseburgers. You clean it up.
I have a My Friend is a Dick and Here's Why story.
Go for it. I love it. Go ahead.
Battle Creek edition.
Battle Creek
So-
edition. Here we go.
A friend of ours
A friend of ours.
who,
An acquaintance or a friend?
a very good friend of ours.
Oh, wow. Go ahead.
It was my birthday, and
Okay.
I believe like 22nd or 23rd,
Oh, nice.
and we were bonging some beer, and
That's what we do with beers.
yeah, and he decided that it'd be a great idea to put some Peachtree schnapps in the top of my beer bong.
A little float.
Yeah, a little float in the top, little special for me. So I had 3 beers in this thing, so I'm just chugging them to get them down. And then all of a sudden I taste Peachtree, and I swear I felt it hit the bottom of my stomach and immediately eject its way back out. And so the other day I'm at work, right?
That's the vortex effect, by the way.
The other day I'm at work, and I go and I get a Pure Leaf tea.
And it's peach, isn't it?
And it's peach. And I'm like,
Oh.
oh, that was probably a mistake to grab
And
that.
it
'cause-
spawned all those feelings.
Because is there another type of peach flavor? All peach is the same flavor. It's the same fake
It's
peach
unlike
flavor.
watermelon and grape. It's very consistent. Peach
Yeah.
is very consistent.
So-
It's that, yeah.
The same all the time.
I was able to drink it, but the whole time I could not get out of my head that taste and the overall experience that I had with that. And I thought, what a dick. He's ruined everything peach for me forever.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been there. Orange juice, I got ruined for me because, I'm not a big liquor drinker. I'm a beer drinker, and we're gonna have Jim Beam, which is my favorite liquor if I'm gonna drink. Chase it with orange juice.
Oh.
Now if I even drink a glass of orange juice, I get that like that. After like 2 drinks of it, I get that whole. This is not going to end up very well.
So I have a friend, well, not a friend anymore, but a past friend. He's an acquaintance now that he was a big-time alcoholic, and he drank vodka. And how I knew we had hit rock bottom with him is one day we were driving around the country roads, taking shots of vodka, chasing them with Pepto-Bismol. That's how you know your life is off the rails right
You have
there.
heartburn or stomach
He
ache,
just
or-
said, it chases vodka so well, and I tried it, and I'm like, he's not wrong, but I don't feel good about this, you know?
But you did it.
Of course, you know.
And you were content.
Well, for 3 to 7 shots, and then I'm like, yeah, okay. We probably should go on to something else. Yeah. I mean, I didn't get a stomach ache for 3 weeks, but it's okay. And everything was this weird pink hue I think my skin was even.
This is even different. Weird shit with friends happens because has nothing to do with drinking weird stuff, but Mike was on the same party bus as I was, and Mike Nickel, that is, 55s, and we came out of a bar, and I don't know if somebody told them to do it or not, but I was semi-inebriated to the point where I couldn't have spelled my name in Braille or with a pen. And I went to get
What about a crayon?
I would have ate it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I stepped off of the curb and reached for the bus, the driver closed the door. And I face planted on the door of a Midnight Madness party bus. And I fell down under the bus where I thought I was going to get run over. And I was semi-inebriated. Like, I might have pissed on myself a little bit. But, I mean...
This story just keeps... So many layers. So many layers to this story.
It's bad. I mean, you can't...
Yeah.
It brings back... This is what it's getting to, is you can't trust somebody that you trusted yesterday. Because I don't know. And then I had to ask... When I got up on the bus, and this is how I asked, door closed. Yes, you don't do that. And they looked at me, and I said...
That is, from what I've heard, that is a very accurate recreation of what happened.
I'm not shitting you. That's probably exactly what it sounded like.
As a matter of verbatim, I've seen the Braille transcription.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. And it's bad. You're missing 3 fingers, so you skip 5 words.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
But I got on the bus, and everybody laughed and said nobody did it, so I had to believe all of them at one time. So
at that point, what
do you do?
You're right.
So I sat down and by myself, and they were all laughing at me, and I had to sit there and drink beer and look stupid. So, which brings up my point. How do you trust a person you trusted 10 minutes ago when you were drunk?
Once again, I'm going to harken back to something we talked about earlier in this episode called the leap of faith.
Mike was there. He was in the back of the bus having good beer.
Much like a Taco Bell drive-thru with the dependency on a fat person making your tacos, you have to trust people when you're drunk because teamwork makes the dream work, my friend, and I'm sorry you went through a terrible experience like that. You know what? For you, I'd never close the bus door in your face. I'm just saying.
That was a moment.
The wink right there made me think that you... made me think you were kidding. But you want to know what? Yo, you were. His name was you.
His name was probably Grover.
Super
Yeah,
Grover?
actually, when I read his card, it said he was out of Deckerville, so I believe it.
What an asshole.
Did he look like a Muppet?
Super Grover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think for 100%, but I think they gave him like an ISD badge because he looked a little downsy, but it could have been a Grover for sure. I agree.
Oh,
wow.
boy.
Not.
Well, anyway, Adam, I'm relinquishing the reins of all of this bullshit to you
I'm
because
not taking
we're
them
off the
back
rails
over.
now.
I'm not
This is
taking
all
them
you,
back
man.
over.
This is all you, buddy. Where do we go from here?
So,
We are
what's
like 40
grinding
minutes
your
into
gears?
this thing. What's grinding my gears? The sheer length of this podcast at this point, because I only expected to go for 20 minutes, and Eddie's getting tired over there.
Yeah, Eddie's kind of cashing out on us.
And we love Eddie. We want Eddie to be on the podcast at some point, but he doesn't believe in podcasts. He thinks they're a fallacy and a farce.
Yeah.
So,
They're a fad.
they're a fad. They're a fad.
A lot of them are not entertaining.
He thinks what?
A lot of them are not entertaining, he says, including this podcast, by
yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
As he rolls over.
Yeah.
We'll just go to Thailand and see what they think. It'll be a good
Oh,
time.
jeez. By the way, maybe you'll actually listen to this podcast or no? I don't
Me?
know. Yeah, you. No,
I mean, this is
you know what?
fun.
Actually, I would appreciate it if you don't, and we'll have you on again.
Oh.
And you're like, still have not listened to a podcast.
I'm 70% sure that I'm 50% sure that nobody's going to listen to this because the shit I said was probably ridiculous and stupid.
People will listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
They will understand that it's
If they're
ridiculous.
smart, they'll listen to it.
And we'll get feedback, and you can send your feedback, by the way, to Pineapple Nipple Arsehole, ARSEHOLE, at gmail.com or PNA Podcast Express. That's Painful Nut Allergy Podcast Express at gmail.com. Send us your emails from Antarctica, from Alaska, from Thailand, from Italy. Yeah, we got some from Italy, which was weird because they were in Italian, but it was Braille Italian.
I'd
So,
like to
fuck
congratulate Phil on making it through that again.
Thank you. See, the drunker I get, the better it gets.
You've had one beer.
That's true. I've only had one beer and 7 rips of Jack Daniels,
Jack
old number
Daniels.
7.
You're right.
Tennessee Sour Mash Whiskey. It's distilled and bottled by Jack Daniels Distillery in Lynchburg, Tennessee, in the U.S. of A. Jack Daniel.
You
Great
got to
product.
bong it the right way, though.
Yeah, I mean, the bottle is very ornate. The product inside is not, but it's okay.
I will warn, we are at the 41-minute mark, so you were pretty close. I will warn that we are losing power on our device here.
We got to wrap this up then. All right, last thoughts.
I have 0 at this point. My thoughts are, yep.
Stefan, you've been a great guest. What are your last thoughts? Say hi to your mom next Christmas.
Yeah, I'll send her a letter in Braille, but
Yeah.
if anybody gets a chance to listen to this podcast, these dudes are probably the best guys you guys are ever going to listen to and have a good time and listen to them every time.
All right, and on that note, everybody, make good choices.